Muchismo Eugene, welcome to another video from Exit Strategy. Please like, subscribe, and share the video if you found it helpful to you and you think it will be helpful to others. I think we all, or a lot of us, empath awakened, chosen ones awakened, have that one or maybe two people that we can play house with if we were to choose. And when I say play house, you know what I mean. But it's a damn good feeling when you're an awakened empath and you're a chosen one and you're past that. And when I say past it, you truly are past it. And I can honestly say that today. And that's growing, that's elevating, that comes from educating and just being aware. And the more aware and educated you are of what and who a narcissist is, there is really no chance that you're going to revert to what's comfortable on the surface or what's convenient on the surface. The French benefits on the surface. You know, I've passed on several situations since I've been awakened. I talk about a lot of them here, and I'm not going to sit here in front and say I was not interested in the individuals in the beginning, because in the beginning, even though I had this awareness and awakeness of what narcissists were, the humanism and the empathy or the empathic nature in us, it is sort of like a balancing act for an empath. We're trying to gauge humanity in a way where we want to be able to give that thing not even the benefit of doubt, but we want to give it ample opportunity to prove itself, short of getting our hand chopped off. You know, feeding that silverback gorilla, don't feed the animals. That sign's there for a reason. So there's been interactions where I've engaged verbally with people, and I've found out relatively quickly that it was a no-go. And so that's what I actually touch on a lot of times. And a lot of us who talk about narcissists and experience, it comes from experiences, both past, present, as well, you know. So we're learning. We're still learning. Even though we're awakened, never stop learning, never cease to become more and more aware, because that is going to be vital to how you move along in the world from this day forward. Because once you get in to a certain degree with a narcissist, the harder it is to identify and equally harder to get away from, because you talk yourself out of what you know you should not be arguing with yourself about. So I wanted to point that out, and wherever you guys are and you have that one or two persons that you could play house with, don't beat yourself up if you have reverted back, and I'm not endorsing it, and I'm not condoning going back, but I'm not condemning you either, because I think we all have done that on an occasion or two. And some of us are still probably engaged with the narcissist in a big way. And we may justify it in saying, you know, I'm not sleeping with him, I'm just doing this for the sake of this. We got a business together, we're doing this. And a lot of you can say that straight face, not knowing that, you know, danger is right upon you, and you really should consider trying to dissolve that business together and do the needed necessary things to get your distance away from those people. So I wanted to speak on that for a moment, but I want to talk about, you know how you, when you were a child, you had your friends over, or it would be your mom's friend, girlfriend, or your dad's buddy would come over, and say your dad's buddy would have a little boy, and I'm being a little boy. He comes over and we play together. You know, that was the days where you would sort of like sniff a kid a little bit, you know, like dogs do. And that's kind of ironic how kids do that too. We are standing up, go ahead and play with them. We say, y'all go back there and play. A lot of times it wouldn't take dad or mom saying it twice, because it's like Disney World. We got somebody to play with other than my annoying sister and my brother that I'm tired of. So this is somebody new. This is somebody new to play with. And so before they can get it out of their mouth, you guys go back. Boom, you gone. Y'all back in the backyard playing or wherever you're playing at. And you're loud. You're loud. I mean, I see the kids now when they get so loud, boy, it kind of brings me back to my childhood. And they are loud. And it was a time in my adult life when that really annoyed me, and I wanted to interject, like, you guys, why y'all gotta be so loud? But then you have to realize you were a child too, and you were loud too. And that loudness depends on what kind of loudness it is. Um, just it is a beautiful thing to hear kids. That's joy. They're having fun. And my point for bringing this up is when it's time for the children to leave, when it's time for the friends that you just made, you don't even know them from can of paint, like they say. But in playing with them for an hour or whatever, time just stood still when you were playing back then. Back in the day, you didn't have the phone or anything. And so you would hear the voice like, come on, guys, it's time to go. Their parent would say it's time to go. And it'd be like somebody knocked the air out of you. And you knew that, damn, the party is over. And you immediately start kind of following the kid to the front of the yard, or you just stand still because you like you've been taken by surprise, like just spellbound, like. Or you would say, all right, you coming back tomorrow? Or you just say, okay, bye, bye. Throw your hand up half-heartedly because you're so disappointed. You think, man, they should have gave us like 2 or 3 days ahead of heads up that when he got ready to leave. As if that was possible, right? It was never enough time a heads up to where you would be okay with that person or that child leaving. You grew a bond with them. And the reason why I want to talk about that and illustrate that in this video is because this is exactly how a narcissist is in adult form. They never want the party to end. They never want you to leave and them cease playing with you, because they're playing with you. You understand what I say? They are playing with you. They're not getting to know you. They are playing with you, and they are playing a game with you. They are playing dress up. They are playing mama and daddy. They are playing Susie May, the way that was one of the games we played. Mommy and daddy, doctor. They are playing. Nothing the narcissist does is serious. They have a childlike mentality. They have a childlike behavior. They have a childlike existence. Why? Because they are trapped in childhood. You look at them and you'll say, man, they've had this job. They do these adult things. Even intimacy with a narcissist, not to relate that as to having intimacy with a child. But what I'm trying to say to you, you are an adult. And this is an adolescent-minded adult that you are with, unfortunately. I know that's eerie to think about, but we have to face the fact. This was a child-minded adult. This is why they can't form bonds with you. This is why they can't. The intimacy between you and them does not feel jointed. It does not feel in harmony. It doesn't feel romantic. You feel, as the adult, the healthy adult, the empath chosen one, you feel like you're doing something with someone you shouldn't be doing it with. At least for me, that was a feeling I got because, and you may say, I didn't think about it that deep, bro. Looking back, these thoughts have arisen. In the moment, it was something that was off at that moment. I didn't think that at that moment. But looking back in retrospect, I kind of can identify why it felt so wrong because it wasn't jointed, it was no harmony, there was no commonality. And intimacy is supposed to be a beautiful thing. It felt robotic. A lot of us have said that. It felt robotic. It felt stiff. It felt, yeah, it felt like you were imposing yourself on that person because they would often comment. They would be laying there and you're doing what you're doing intimately, and they would just not be responsive in any way that related to an adult. Because you all have been with probably more than one partner can immediately resonate with this, but let's say some women I've heard on here have been with that man. He was the first man and he was the narcissist that they were married to for 15, 20 years faithfully. So they've never known another man. So can you imagine how deprived you are as a person that has only been with that one person as a narcissist? And when I say deprived, I wouldn't feel no ways put off about that. It's just an unfortunate thing that that experience that was supposed to be so sacred went down that path. So that this is how they think. So when the relationship, this is why when you go to work, and you've known the narcissist for probably a little while, maybe you've been involved with them for a year or two, and you're cohabitating together, you live together. And after a year or two of living with each other, you will go to leave out of the house to go to work, and they will say, "Where are you going?" And you'll look at them and say, "I got to go to work." It's like they don't even remember the fact that you got a job that starts at 3 o'clock to whatever time you're supposed to get out. It's because they're disconnected with your life. They're not living life with you. They're living life through you. Their existence is contingent on you and the way you move, and every move you make. They move, you move. Like that song go, I move, you move. And so they don't have the identity that is necessary for them to be able to form bonds and form the ideas that are healthy. They are forming plots. They are forming assassinations. They are forming smears. They are forming attacks against one another, infighting, trying to get one another to fight one another, like the triangulation suggests. And this goes on and on and on with this childlike behavior. And so if you can relate to when your friends would leave, a narcissist is living like this their whole entire life. You and I, we would disengage. We would be saddened. We'd be disappointed. It would be a feeling that we could not really explain, an emptiness, because it was just something new to us. It felt so good. We had these new friends. But we right way went away and took a bath, went to bed, went to school. It was short-lived. We got over it. We continued to keep on doing the things that we normally did in life, not with a narcissist. This is why when you disengage with them, you're absent and away from them, they go through hell. They go through hell. It's like a gas chamber to them. Unless they've settled in with you and they've got you already hoodwinked, and they can gauge where you are, because if they got tons of supply, they're delighted when you leave out, because as soon as you leave out, before you can get out of the driveway with your car, they're on the phone or texting. And they're texting the other supply right in the same room where you are. You could be watching a movie right beside them in the bed, and they're texting on their phone. Real bold, brash, child-like individuals. They're scared, terrified individuals, but they're bold. you'll go in a store or a restaurant, and the male waitress will come up, and you as a man would say, "Hey, how are you doing?" And something would just feel funny, but unbeknownst to you, she's already been screwing that waiter, and he'll play face and she'll play face. Very disgusting individuals, man. You know, healthy people who have issues in life often cheat as well. Difference is there's some reconciliation that's possible when people such as that do those type of things, but with a narcissist, it gets pervasively worse. That being said, bless.